3. And we're going to give a little bit of a week 2 recap.
It wasn't a good week.
No.
No. Well, for some of us, it was.
Yeah.
All right. I guess for one of my teams, it was all right, but.
And somebody else has pulled out a little bit of a miracle.
Yeah, that was a very exciting ending to the Cowboys game, but we'll get into more of that when we talk about them. So
There's a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk
yeah,
about.
A
there
lot
is.
to talk about. I guess we'll start out. Thursday night game was the Bengals at the Browns.
Uh-oh.
The Browns won that 35-30.
They kind of looked like they should have, but it was against the Bengals. So
Yep.
they go from the Ravens one week to probably one of the worst teams.
Yeah.
And they barely won.
And they barely won.
Odell finally showed up,
Yeah, he did.
which is good.
Baker looked pretty good. I don't know if this says too much about him right now until they play somebody that's actually,
Right.
Chubb and
Start getting into
Hunt.
some more of the
yeah,
more difficult teams.
yeah.
But needless to say, like you said, Baker, it is what it is. They won the game, but the Bengals and the young cast of characters they have there, they put up 30 points, and
Burrow looks good.
yeah,
man.
and Burrow looks good, and he's got the mindset
Yeah,
that you
too.
want to see out of a young kid.
Yeah.
They're 0-2, and they say I think it was the first time in his life
He's been
Been
on.
that he's been 0-2. So this is through high school, college. He's never lost 2 in a row. So it's like, wow.
Well, he
but,
better get used to it this year.
I know, but his he had a quote or something. I don't know the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, "This can't continue to
Yeah.
happen. We've got to do better." So he's got the mindset that I want to see out of a young guy. Losing 2 games, and he seems to be pissed about it.
As long as they build
Like-
around him, I think he's going to be really good. But
Right.
see, I see issues like the Jets. Sam Darnold's, I think he's pretty good,
seeing good.
but they're not doing anything around him.
Right.
So I think his talent's just going to go down the drain. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about the Bengals.
The
I
future
like
looks
Burrow.
bright for him, I think.
I agree. That's kind of what my point there.
And the
So
Browns should be better, I think, than they are. And
it's going to
we
be
say
an
that
interesting
the last couple
season.
years, but
Well, I know they had some notable. I can't find it right now, but where it said like Darnold's all his weapons. Who was it? Gore. Oh man,
Yeah.
Gore.
yeah.
Because they lost Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh. But anyway, I guess we'll move on to Sunday's games. Jaguars at Titans.
Minshew mania.
Titans won that 33-30, but the Jags
And-
are still being competitive.
Right. They
What
were
is
right
going
there.
on? This is a
So-
weird season.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird.
But it's that Minshew mania.
Everybody
Like I
thought
said,
they were tanking.
They-
Well,
they-
they were.
they did lose the game, but like you said, it was competitive all the way to the end. So.
You think they stick with Minshew? I mean,
I
Oh
would.
yeah. Oh yeah.
if they've got a chance to
I
get
think
one
so.
of those top few quarterbacks in the next draft, do they do it?
Potentially, but like right now, I think they're gunning to win some games
No.
I'd keep Minshew.
and just build around them, just like you would do with Burrow.
I mean, if something happens,
He's young.
it's not like they're not getting blown out.
right.
No.
I mean, these first 2 games have been somewhat close. And then, Titans, good old Tannehill,
Yeah. Tannehill and
which is weird.
They're 2-0 now. So
Derrick Henry running back.
Clowney,
I guess they're picking up kind of where they left off last year. They
Mhm.
were looking good last year, so.
Yeah, looked pretty good.
So
On to the Panthers at Buccaneers.
oh man, Brady got it.
Yep. Brady got the win. The Buccaneers won 31-17. Wasn't really much of a game. I guess the Panthers did kind of make it a game from the highlights that I've seen. The Bucs jumped out like 21-0, and then the Panthers kind of brought it back a little bit, and then the Bucs went up.
Panthers are 0-2 now.
Leonard Fournette.
Panthers are 0-2, Bucs are 1-1.
No.
There's not much to say about it except Brady kind of got some rhythm going and just kind of take it from there. Just kind of gonna keep seeing how the season
I
goes.
still see some regression in him though.
Mhm.
You can still tell.
Another thing is
The interception that he threw was pretty rough. He definitely overthrew the receiver, but that's gonna happen, you
Yeah.
know.
one thing too is Gronk. He's been non-existent.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Is it going to take him a couple weeks to get back into
Is he? I don't know
Football
if he's
shape.
having problems adjusting to a new system or
or the system?
because he's only had one. I mean, this whole
yeah, so I mean,
Could be a few
Brady has
things.
too.
yeah. But then we move on to a game that had an injury, pretty big injury. Broncos at the Steelers. Steelers won that one 26-21, and Drew Lock got hurt.
Oh, yep, Drew Lock.
So with the injury to Locke, the Broncos went and they signed Blake Bortles. Looks like the XFL lost out on a good one.
Blake Bortles.
And then another thing too, I think
Cortland Sutton's
Yeah.
hurt too.
he's
Yeah.
out. Is he out for the year?
He might be.
Judy
Yeah,
all the way.
yeah, he is out for the year.
Philip Lindsay's hurt too.
Yeah.
Well, with Drew Lock down, Broncos are 0-2. What are you thinking there?
Elway needs
They're-
another quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Broncos are, I think,
They're on the regression a little bit, too.
They're going to be last in that division.
Yeah.
1-800 call Tebow.
And
Yeah,
on the flip side of it, Steelers are 2-0.
yeah.
With
They're
the
playing
20
pretty good.
The Broncos were still competitive. It was 26-21 final,
Mm-hmm.
but Steelers did get the win there.
But I think their quarterback's Driscoll, isn't that who came? Isn't that who
Yeah, I
came
think
out?
so.
So I don't know how. I mean,
But
Yeah,
Steelers
no.
2-0. They're going to be vying for that
No
division
problem.
too. Yeah, we'll get there when we get to the Ravens game. But the
uh,
Steelers don't look bad with Ben back,
No. Juju.
and we kind of talked about last week. Tomlin is
Hell of a coach.
a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
So you still got a well-coached team. You got your quarterback back that you were missing last year sorely.
Connor
So
came back with the
James Conner.
came back with 100 yards.
Yeah. So
So,
they're
yeah.
competitive.
yeah,
so.
Steelers. I see them winning some games this year too. On to the next one. This had an NFC East rival of ours. Rams at Eagles. The Rams won 37-19. The
Eagles-
Rams beat us last week, and that was a tight game. But then they blew the Eagles out 37-19.
Eagles don't look good.
Eagles are 0-2. We stayed with the Rams, and then they turn around and blow the Eagles out. That makes me feel pretty good.
No, here's
No.
About the
here's
Cowboys.
the question: Is Wentz? I mean, to me, is Wentz the future?
Should be.
I don't know. I know they've had injuries on their O line,
hmm
but I don't know, man.
I think
And
you
then-
sent a
That,
thing earlier that the Eagles receivers don't have any touchdowns.
And then how you say
That's
his name?
amazing.
Nelson. How you say that name?
Nelson
Nelson
Aguilar.
Aguilar.
He's got one receiving touchdown, and the Eagles receivers have none. My
That's
question,
crazy.
I guess, do you guys see it as if they go 0-5, 0-6, do you turn over Jalen Hurst?
Oh, maybe.
Is Carson Wentz going to make it that long? I mean, he gets hurt a lot.
And then
Yes, he
another,
does.
another
Like you
topic,
said, the O line though is an issue.
Yeah.
do you see them making a move and trading Hurts?
Maybe we talked about that last week as
If
well
they
with
think
the Cowboys.
if they think their season's kind of over with,
Right.
they might because that Dallas Goddard's pretty good. So
Mhm.
I mean, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't need.
I mean, really, with Hurts, I mean, you could get a lineman, you could get some kind of a capital to help
Right.
Wentz out for half the season.
But yeah, Rams 2-0. They're looking good, man. And we kind of last year the Rams didn't make the playoffs.
They kind of look like the Rams from
I
a few
think
years ago.
I think the Rams are back this year. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's just it's early, but
Tiger.
that's the way it's looking, anyways. So
Oh, man.
Talking about
Well,
injuries,
yes, injuries. 49ers at Jets.
49ers won that one 31-13.
They blew them out, but in the process,
They lost a lot.
They
Lost a lot.
Jimmy G's hurt. He's
yeah,
going to be
bring
out.
the
for-
list up.
Yeah, he's
Just
going to
bring
be
the
out for a
list
few
up.
weeks, I think, at least.
Here's the list.
Nick Bosa with an ACL. He's
He's
out
out.
for the year. He said Jimmy G.
Mhm.
Raheem Mostert, which he's supposedly out, I think, a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we had Solomon Thomas.
It's 4.
And then I believe Richard Sherman got hurt.
Richard
Yep.
Sherman was hurt, not in this week, but yeah.
That's
and then
fine.
I think one of their other running backs, Tevin Coleman,
Devin
So-
Coleman
he's hurt too.
So they have been.
Oh, and then kind of add on to that, D-Boo's on the IR still.
Oh,
yeah.
And then their rookie, Brandon,
Oh,
with an
that
A,
was-
Ayuk.
the receiver.
Yep, he's out too.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah, they've been decimated with injuries.
But
They
they're
got
still
the
winning.
victory. It was against the Jets, though, so
Yeah.
the 49ers were 0-1, so now they're 1-1. Jets are now 0-2. So 49ers might be back, but with those injuries, you might.
tank for Trevor.
We could.
I don't know if they tank, but I don't see them dominating like they did
My
last
Vikings could trade him Kirk Cousins. If
year.
they
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a little bit, but
Anyways, not much to really say.
no, I
else
mean
about
other
that.
than the injuries and the Jets are playing like the Jets.
Terrible.
Adam Gase is sniffing smelling salts. So
On to the next one.
You know what's bad when your star player is Frank Gore.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
that's
actually talk about that. Gore set a record.
an older Frank Gore.
Most games played by a running back.
Yep, I seen that too. That's longevity. He definitely has longevity.
Which is weird. Not a flashy name, but he's what, I think third or fourth on the rushing
Yeah,
list.
he's up there. He's just got longevity, man. Just played all those years and accumulated all the stats. The next one is an AFC East showdown. The Bills at the Dolphins. Bills won that one 31-28. Kind of a tight game.
Allen kind of lit it up.
no,
Bills are now 2-0. Dolphins are 0-2. But that game came down to a onside kick. It was like 49 seconds left.
Mhm.
The Dolphins onside kick obviously didn't recover it.
yeah.
And who knows what would have happened? You know, could have they took it to overtime or whatever? You know, with getting that recovery. But the fact that they took the Bills to an onside kick, man, that shows a lot about the Dolphins going forward.
I think the Dolphins are staying a little competitive. The Bills look like they're
Kind of back
Might-
to what they were last
Might
year.
win the
maybe a little
division.
better than last year.
I think they were 11-5 last
Yeah.
year. I think, but I know they were in the playoffs. But
Yeah.
yeah, 2-0, Dolphins 0-2, but competitive.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell you somebody who wasn't competitive.
Oh, this next one.
This is, I don't know what's going on. Vikings at the Colts. Colts won that one 28-11,
They
and
dominated. Colts dominated from.
I just
From the get-go.
And Anthony Barr is out for the season for the Vikings now. Torn pec. They're just getting shredded, man. And I don't.
What's going on with them? 0-2. This is.
I can understand.
bad.
I understand the defense a little bit because
Daniel
they're
Hunter.
missing Hunter.
Yeah.
He's hurt. Michael Pierce opted out. They got young corners.
Mhm.
Yannick still learning the system.
Yeah, I get the defense, but the offense is not doing anything.
Didn't he have a couple interceptions?
I think
Yeah,
three.
Three interceptions.
One was a Hail Mary at the end of the half.
Yeah.
So, but
even you cross that out, you still got two natural
The-
interceptions.
the play calling
not
is.
good.
I think it's the play calling. To be honest with you, I mean their play calling is just horrid.
Getting into that,
Look at him. He's
he's chomping at the bit over here. Go ahead.
it's bad.
The Vikings are starting to see what the Ravens had with Flacco and Kubiak.
Yep.
Right?
I know we talked about it off camera. It's not that playbook doesn't work anymore.
No.
It's too old school. They're stuck in their ways. They're not modernizing the
Like you
offense.
said, Zimmer's a defensive-minded coach, which the defensive stands out. Kubiak's more of, under center. Really what the Vikings need is they need a young quarterback with the bootleg that can, pretty much open the playbook up.
Mhm.
And I think Dalvin Cook would do a lot better in that kind of, having like a Lamar or Dak, some kind of a, mobile quarterback.
Well, they didn't even run it a lot, man. They're not even. And the thing here's
Right.
the weird thing: Zimmer always says he wants to run the ball because he's old school.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
But then you
They don't do that very much. It's odd.
Mhm.
What do you think?
And
the
and
line, or-
and Cousins is continually throwing to Thielen.
Right. That's
Like
starting.
he's not throwing to anybody else. There's other guys that can catch the ball.
Right.
Now, do you think? Are you guys starting to see the difference having Diggs not there?
I think so. And
Yep.
and Diggs is lighting it up in Buffalo right now.
hmm
So maybe he knew something we didn't.
Right.
And then it could have been Thielen.
And Diggs was on Cousins' ass when they were falling behind in some games.
hmm
And then everybody was like, "Oh, Diggs is blowing up on the sidelines," but
Maybe
he
there
was
was-
just trying to light a fire under their
Yeah.
ass. You know what I mean?
Maybe there was a point to the madness.
No, I mean it's 2 games,
hmm
and it is a weird off season. Now there's some teams that might be starting a little slow,
Right.
but they just don't.
No preseason.
They honestly, halfway through that game, looked like they gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and on defense, you've got maybe, I think about the only guys that looked like they were trying on defense was Harrison Smith, Eric Kendricks, and Yannick.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony
That's
Harris.
about it. He wasn't really, no. Everybody else was kind of MIA.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Which, and then the kind of another thing to add on to it is you've got Cousins, Zimmer, and then is it your GM still for
GM.
another 3 years?
Mhm.
So if they wanted to fire Zimmer,
You'd
they'd
be
still owe
okay
him a
with
lot
that.
of money.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Cousins. If they want to move on from Cousins, there's been a lot of weird rumors
Right.
I've heard lately. Somebody's Pro Football Focus was like, trade for Jameis Winston. Because you only got to pay him like $3 million or
Right.
something. But
Winston's younger. He has more of the mobile dual threat that you were kind of talking about.
Winston takes a lot of chances.
But he takes a lot of chances. He's gonna throw some interceptions.
Now he's got his eyes fixed, so I mean,
but can you
we don't know what he looked like after he's got his eyes fixed.
But
so.
can you see him benching a $30-some million quarterback? You know what I mean? Like
The only way,
I mean-
not benching him, you would have to trade him. You'd have to straight up.
and if I remember,
then you'd owe
But
$40-some million.
does he have a no trade clause?
There's not. I don't think there's a no trade. But the problem is, you're going to owe him. I think the
Dead
guarantee,
money.
the rest of the guarantee, I think is
Oh.
40-some million dollars.
I
So you
got
just
you.
have to hand him $40 million.
So you might as well ride with Cousins then.
I think they're stuck
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
I some of these extensions I think they made probably weren't the right things to do.
In haste.
Yeah,
Um,
but
Because what I think will end up happening is probably, you know, if everybody lasts 3 years, you're probably going to need a quarterback, a head coach. So you're probably going to have a head coach wanting a new guy.
mhm.
So, you know, the next upcoming years.
and I don't know if it's the personnel, if they just need somebody to come up with some different plays.
Right.
I mean, because they've got some good players. They just, it's weird because last year they were pretty competitive. And the team, I mean, you've lost some players, but you're essentially, a lot of those guys are back still.
Yeah.
And they're not playing well. You think the offense, Kubiak was there last year, but Kevin Stefanski was calling the plays, but he was
Right.
helping him with the plays.
And you see, kind of going back to the Browns game, Baker's spreading the ball around more,
Yeah.
and Stefanski's calling the plays.
You know,
Right.
And what's going on with Cleveland? Chubb and
1-1.
Hunt both ran,
Yeah.
ran all over the Bengals.
there's some issues, and
Yeah.
it's not looking good for him
No,
right
it's
now.
not.
So we'll
On
see
the-
what happens.
On the flip side of things, the Colts are now 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
They won the game 28-11, and at the end of the game, Rivers was looking confident on the sideline, and
Till the
kind of
playoffs.
is Rivers back to himself, or did this game kind of
I don't
get
think
Rivers
so.
back, or you just think this is a one-off?
I think it's one off.
I think he was just tearing apart the defense like Rodgers
Right.
did the week before. I mean,
Right. I got you.
So-
I got you. But Colts 1-1, Vikes 0-2. Moving on to the next one.
Packers.
After talking about the Vikings losing, now you got to talk about this. Lions at the Packers. The Packers fell behind early, but came through and dominated in the second half. They won the game 42-21.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, he
Aaron
tore it
Jones,
up.
Aaron Rodgers, Packers,
The Aaron.
go Patco,
Double A.
bullcrap. Packers are 2-0, Lions are 0-2. Is there much to say about this other than Packers and Lions?
Lions are
It
being
is
the
what it
Lions.
is.
Lions are the Lions, and the Packers are being the Packers.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think the Lions going to be looking for a new head coach.
I think so too. I don't think he's going to make it through the season. Probably.
I don't think so either. The Lions are going too far downhill. It's not looking good for my comeback player of the year was Matt Stafford, which he looked good in the first half, but then they just fell apart in the second half.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
phone's ringing. But yeah, Packers look like the Packers again, and I hate it because as a Cowboys fan, they're a thorn in our side too. But
No.
this
Speaking of
next
your
one, yeah,
Cowboys.
speaking of the Cowboys,
Hello.
the Falcons at the Cowboys, we pulled this one out.
Oh God.
It's
Yeah.
better to always pull it out.
Yeah.
Pump it, pump it down, pump it
We were
down.
both 0-1 going into this, but Falcons are 0-2 now. Cowboys 1-1. But it's more or less how this game was, how we got the victory. We were down 20-0 early.
You guys looked bad.
We looked bad in the first quarter.
4 turnovers. or
Right,
something?
into the second quarter. And then we kind of got some stuff rolling. But as we got
roll it
rolling, the
together.
Falcons continued to score, and we just grinded until the end. Somehow we miraculously got the onside recovery at
Now,
the end.
Which barely
Now,
ever
let's,
happens.
let's talk about this. So obviously nobody knows you can touch the ball before it goes 10 yards if you're a Falcon.
They let it roll.
Yeah, it was.
And
Then the Cowboys got jammed in there and got on it. I mean, it was a fair recovery by the Cowboys, but the Falcons did not do their. I agree. The Falcons did not do their job.
The one picture was Hayden Hurst, and we traded him to Atlanta. And the one thing Harbaugh is big on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that was horrible. It's something you'd think would happen in a video game.
Right.
Hey, look
right.
at the ball. Just look at
They
it.
just watched it roll, and then the Cowboys jumped all over it. So
Yeah.
They kind of go on with the Cowboys. I think CD and Cooper both had 100 yards receiving.
mhm.
Yeah.
So we finally
Yeah,
see
C-
CD.
Yep, CD had a decent game, and Cooper's looking good. That we actually started to look good after we looked bad. So it was like,
What do you
so
think?
there is some positives there.
Well, what do you think this says about your Cowboys? I mean, do you think
Consistency.
because I mean, if they would have got the odds of that onside kick, if they hadn't got that onside
Yeah,
kick,
we would be 0-2 right now.
But I mean, you did come back, but then the
Mhm.
first half you looked terrible,
This is what it tells me.
and the Falcons seemed to fall apart.
I'm telling
in
you,
games.
I'm still not gonna say Dak is worth $40 million. This is one game.
37
But-
now.
Yeah, but it does tell me that the Cowboys fight until the end. They fight until the final whistle, and that makes me proud of the team.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that we never quit fighting, and that's what you're supposed to do. You know, any level of the sport, but especially at the professional level.
No.
You fight until the final whistle, and that's what we did, and we pulled it out miraculously. So, and I think there's another stat that goes along with this. The Falcons, this is the first time since 1933 that a team has built a 20 or more point lead and then scored 39 or more and lost. First time since 1933 that scenario has ever happened.
Back then when face masks weren't even
Right. So this was
Like
it
one
was a
bar.
miracle. This was a miraculous victory. I don't know how we did it. But like you said, positive about the Cowboys is, you know, I feel that, you know, proud that we fought till the end. But like you said, the Falcons just tend
Tend to
to
fall,
fall apart. Since 28-3
Which
happened,
it's weird.
since that happened, the Falcons haven't been the same. It's like,
Yeah.
is there something in Matt Ryan's head or the coach? Is there something in there that just
Special teams.
special team? I
It's
don't
like,
know.
oh, we're winning. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Right. It's like, I don't get it.
I do.
Last year they sucked, and then this year stuff like this has happened to them.
And then kind
It's
of
odd.
a stat to go with the Falcons. I think what was it? Calvin Ridley is
Yeah.
lighting it up.
Yeah, he is.
I think
This
he's
is an amazing stat
got, what is
too.
it? 21 touchdowns, I believe, in his first 21 games.
31 games.
31 games.
And then Julio
Has the identical, but it's through 62. I believe.
his last 62 games, 21 touchdowns through his last 62, and then Ridley has got 21.
My kind of
through
thing.
31 games.
I think if you took Julio out, though, I think.
Right,
You would-
because
yeah.
Julio's taking the double teams.
Yeah.
'Cause
I get it, but
I think it'd be the
it's
same
still
thing
kind of wild.
Going with the Vikings with Thielen and Diggs. You can't have
Mhm.
one without the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Next game, Giants at Bears.
Defensive battle here.
Bears won 17-13.
They lost
Big
David
injury.
Montgomery.
They lost David Montgomery. Yeah. Bears to me, they're 2-0, but
It was ugly wins.
yeah, they played the Lions, and the Lions had the game-winning reception in the end zone, and Swift dropped it. You beat the Giants. Giants aren't good
They're in
Without-
rebuild mode.
without Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, that's a big.
Yep.
Saquon is out for the season.
Gone, torn ACL. So they're going to be even worse than they were.
Yeah.
They're signing
Devontae
Devontae Freeman.
Freeman, which that's kind of
He's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae's not bad.
nah, he's one of them. He's one of them Falcons.
Yeah, but I could see, you know, plugging him in as a
Yeah.
running back there on the Giants squad and having some success.
Mm-hmm.
He's a veteran, so. But yeah, Giants, not like I said, not much to say about them
So
except
Giants are
rebuild
0-2.
mode.
Bears are 2-0.
Bears are 2-0.
But I don't think
it's gonna
you
last.
look at the wins, like I said,
Mhm.
and they're not
not a dominant.
No.
But like this one was kind of a defensive battle, 17-13. It wasn't really that much
No.
dominating or anything.
Trubisky versus Daniel Jones. Who's the
Yeah.
first one to make an error?
I know, right? So that ends our Sunday early games.
Uh-oh.
On to the 4 p.m. Sunday games.
Oh,
The
man.
football team at the Cardinals. Both teams were 1-0. Washington ended up winning their
Yeah.
first game. Cardinals won their first game, but the Cardinals pulled this out 30-15. A weird stat about Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Skip to the
True definition of a dual threat. I think you sent this to me. He has more rushing yards or rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott.
He's got a better completion percentage than Drew Brees.
Completion percentage than Drew Brees and more rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott, who is a running back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for a quarterback to be doing running back things. He's redefining
He's definitely
dual threat.
He was definitely the right choice for him because I mean, ever since he played a little bit. He played the whole season.
I don't know if he played the whole season, maybe like 4 or 5 games in, then he started.
Yeah, it was like
I don't remember the exact
Yeah,
details,
it was-
but
but he started showing flashes then. You know what I mean?
I mean, and that's another thing too. Mobile quarterbacks.
It's what the league's going
the,
to.
the league is modernizing to mobile dual threat quarterbacks. It's just part of the game now.
Then you got
There was a time all of them were getting hurt though.
Yeah. And that brings us to the next point. Is the dual threat you're going to have longevity with that?
Is it maintainable?
Yeah, is it maintainable? That's a good
Are
word.
you going to have a long career like Brady? You
Right.
know what I mean? Probably not.
You're going to have to start doing some pocket protection, maybe later in your career, but...
Because
Yeah,
look
I
at
was gonna say.
Vic. Vic was like that, I guess. You know,
Mm,
he played a while, but towards the end, you could tell he wasn't running as much.
right.
I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like even Lamar Murray,
Can they sustain it?
you have to get the accuracy because, like I said, later down, year 8, 9, you're not gonna be running like you used to,
Yeah.
and then defenders just keep getting faster and faster.
Right.
It seems like.
But see, that's the thing. If you have the arm,
You
now,
can
if
rely.
if you're like a Mahomes, Lamar is showing the arm. Aaron Rodgers isn't the fastest guy, but if it's open, he will run
Yeah.
for that 2nd and 5. He'll go get the 5 yards and slide.
Yeah.
You have to be able to have some speed and
Some
some
mobility.
mobility
Yeah.
in today's National Football League. On the flip side, the football team,
Every time.
it's just funny.
Every time.
The football team,
Aren't they all football teams?
yeah, they're all football teams.
Yeah.
It's just so weird
It is
that
weird.
their actual name is the football.
I
team.
hope they change it. 'Cause it's
They're now
stupid as
1-1.
hell.
The NFC East is wide open.
It looks like it did last year.
Yep. With the
Yes.
Eagles 0-2, the Cowboys 1-1, Washington 1-1, Giants 0-2. Man, I could see this division being.
An 8,
It's
8,
kind
or
of.
9,
I
and
could
7
see it
wins
being
it.
an 8-8, 9-7, winning. That's all it's going to take to win the division.
There's definitely not going to be a wild card team out of that division.
I don't think so either. I'm
Well,
thinking.
in addition with the 7th spot becoming available.
Even with that.
Yeah.
But I really think you guys will win it. I don't think the Eagles.
I'm hoping.
I don't think the
Yeah.
Eagles have what it takes to even give that 8-8.
It doesn't
Mhm.
look like it.
The way they're playing.
Right. They're going to have to go 8-6.
And the
rest
football
of the season.
team, I think, is.
Football.
Yeah,
team.
They've
is
got-
this just early flashes?
They've got a while, I think,
Right.
before they're going. And the Giants with Barkley out, yeah,
There's no way.
they're done.
Yep.
So we got the Chiefs and the
The
Chargers.
Chiefs, the Chargers. This was an exciting matchup,
Yeah.
actually. The Chiefs won it 23-20 in overtime, but it was an exciting game.
And Justin Herbert came in and played really well. And they talked to Coach Anthony Lynn, and he says Tyrod's is.
Still
Quarterback.
starting.
Tyrod's is
Which
quarterback
I-
as long as he's at 100%.
I think that's the wrong
You
move.
gotta with what Herbert is showing you.
Rookie comes in and plays like that.
You gotta go with him.
Well,
just
it's
gotta
let
kind
him
of
learn.
what happened to Dallas. When Romo went down, Dak
We
came in.
stuck with Dak.
You know,
You
Right.
gotta ride the hot hand.
Yep, that's how Cowboys did it. And look,
And he's
that's
your
our
future anyway. That's why they drafted him. So why not
I
put him
just-
out there?
Maybe they don't want to push him too early. I don't know.
I
but like
understand
you
that.
said, he played good.
Yeah, he played well.
We saw what happened when Mahomes sat a year.
Mm-hmm. And then he came out and was
I think just
awesome.
that extra year helps.
Right. I think that's all it is. They just don't want to push him too fast, too early. But the Chiefs, 23-20, it was 17-20, fourth quarter. Mahomes, 2-minute drive to put the field goal on the board to force overtime, and then the Chargers go 3-and-out. Chiefs go down the field. The kicker has to kick 3 field goals before one counts because it was a penalty, and then they iced him, and then he finally... But he made all 3 of them. But the fact that they were losing by 3, and it took that Mahomes 2-minute drive to even get it to overtime, did the Chargers find a way to neutralize that electrifying offense? At least to a couple degrees?
I think so.
Now, I know, too, watching that final drive,
The final ending.
Bosa was gassed and wasn't out there. Now, they were kind of saying... they were kind of like, why isn't Bosa in there? You know, why isn't...
Because he was gassed.
But, you know, even I kind of see the point. You know, it's your crucial time. You got to be out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, especially, you know, your star end when they're... Because I think it was like 3rd and 5. And then I think Mahomes ended up scrambling out, picking up the first, extending the ball out.
Yep.
I mean, now with that, do you think the Chiefs...
If I'm correct, the Chiefs didn't have a blowout victory week 1 either, did they? Or if it wasn't until late in the game.
Well, they played the Texans. It was opening night.
But it was
They
a
started
good.
doing that.
But it was a good game, and then they kind of took off late with it. So, but with this, are the Chiefs becoming a little more real, or did the Chargers neutralize them, or give a game plan, a blueprint to neutralize that offense? Maybe not every defense is going to have the skills or the talent to do it, but with the more elite defenses, do you think it's possible?
Yeah.
Or do you think this is just a one-off game?
Now, a question for you guys. You guys starting to get... Because I watched, you know, I don't know if you guys watched the whole game.
I didn't watch the whole game.
Are you starting to get that with Mahomes? That says, hey, he's got another, you know, the Brady instinct, fourth quarter drive.
Right.
Winning drive. You're not... It's not like, you know, any other quarterback. We're like, oh, my God, what's going to happen?
You feel like, uh-oh.
You feel safe.
Yeah,
confident that he's going to
feel that he's going to pull it out, exactly. And if you're facing him, you're like, no, fuck. You don't want to be on the other end of that.
Yeah.
But I agree. Mahomes is definitely the Brady Manning.
He doesn't get rattled
got
either.
that.
It doesn't seem like.
Mm-hmm. He's got ice in his veins.
We'll find out, I guess, if things change with the Chiefs. But, I mean, that first week, I was like, everybody's like, oh, first game of the season, they look like the Chiefs of last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then this week, it was kind of like...
It's more down to earth.
I don't know.
I didn't mention this. The Chiefs and Chargers, that's an AFC West matchup. So the Chargers, they do have the blueprint already because they faced them twice a year. So maybe that could have played into it. I don't know. Maybe we're looking too much into it.
It's always... they always say, you know, division rivals and stuff. They give you
They
a
always
game.
play, and they do because they play you twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
So on to your team, the Ravens at the Texans.
The Ravens won that 33-16.
Ravens 2-0, Texans 0-2, but we'll let you take it away on the Ravens.
And pretty much, biggest thing with that was Watson does not have an offensive line.
We knew that last year.
Yeah.
And even going into last week versus the Chiefs, he got rattled. I'm surprised that he's still standing. And, you know, he hasn't really had a major injury yet.
No. Last year he got hit. I think he was one of the most hit quarterbacks in the whole.
There's a meme going around about Watson that it shows him on the sideline that scores whatever at the end of the game, 33-16, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And it's like, should have I really signed that extension? I don't know the exact wording of the meme, but it's along those lines.
I honestly don't think he should have.
I don't either.
You sign an extension with a team that doesn't have an O line. That was a money. He just went for the money, man.
But any team would have paid him.
Right.
I mean, he could have went anywhere, got the tag, got 35, 40 million. And
I'd say really he's.
It makes you think. Why didn't he just go somewhere
You think he's
else?
a top 5 QB?
I think with
talent-wise, yes. Team-wise, no.
I think it'd be what situation if he was in Baltimore,
Seattle.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Cowboys offense, even with Chiefs weapons. I'd say he's a top 5 quarterback, if not top 3.
I agree.
No.
But the team-wise, I don't think they're going to be top 5.
I don't know if they'll put anything around him because I mean their offensive line was a problem last year and they didn't really do a whole whole lot.
I mean, to be honest with you, tell you
And then they traded his big target.
that
Yeah.
that division, Texans, Colts, who's the other team? Titans. Titans are 2-0.
Jags.
And Jaguars is the other team. I kind of feel that division's wide open. The Titans, it's looking like the Titans is going to be the leader of that division.
You guys see
But
the wild card
I don't
teams?
think that is a guaranteed thing. Because I think the Titans, one injury, Henry, Tannehill, the Titans could go downhill.
Yeah.
Real
To
quick.
me, I think the Titans will win that division.
Barring injuries, I
Yeah, major
agree.
setback.
Right.
I think if Tannehill was to get hurt,
I think that division's still wide open though. I think the Texans are on the bottom end of it, but I'm not going to put the Colts out of that division.
No.
I think the Colts could make a run for it.
if that I could see a wild card.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Ravens side,
Yeah.
we lost Tavon Young. ACL. He was out last year with a knee
So many
injury.
ACLs.
With him, and he's one of those that can't stay healthy. This is the third year in a row he's gotten hurt with a season-ending injury.
Right.
When healthy, he's one of the best nickel corners. I mean, biggest thing here was the Ravens' defense. They kind of
Showed up.
took care of business. I mean,
2-0.
Marlon, forced a fumble. Fort returned it. I mean, pretty much that was it. Ingram had a 60-yard touchdown,
Mm-hmm.
which
Well-
came out of a wild card or a
Right.
wildcat.
Right.
We'll have a big matchup coming up this week. We'll
Ooh.
talk about
We'll
that.
Yeah, we'll get that when we do our pick'ems.
Kind of one thing, Lamar's throwing the ball more,
Mhm.
which I don't know.
The dual threat. That's the other part of the dual threat. You can't just be a runner. You
One thing I
have to be accurate
which I know
with your
when
throws.
Lamar had a pass to Pat Ricard.
Mhm.
He's starting to throw the ball where only the receiver can get it. A lot of people are knacking saying that's accuracy. The receiver, the catcher, is not going to catch it. But I'm starting to wonder if they're going to start going towards what not made him the Ravens last year. They're not running the ball as much.
Right.
Ingram's not getting it. Gus was showing flashes.
You've got the O-line and you've got the running backs though, and you've got Lamar. I get limiting Lamar from the actual rushes, but man, you guys got Ingram and you got that young guy out of the draft.
Little Ray Rice.
You
J.K.
used to have
Dobbins.
him, but was it Dobbins?
Yep, Dobbins.
Yeah. So you guys have a three-headed monster at running back, man.
No.
Which
But maybe it's just early. And
I think that's what most teams are going to anyway.
last thing I'll say about the
Multiple running
Ravens,
backs.
the Ravens are what I thought they would be.
yeah.
They're 2-0, along with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Ravens and the Chiefs are the future of the AFC
Yep.
side of the things. I don't know the future of the NFC yet, but the Ravens and Chiefs are definitely locking down the AFC this
The
year,
last thing I will say with the Ravens, though,
barring injury.
you could tell the team's geared more towards run offense because the pass protection wasn't the greatest. Lamar got sacked 4 times.
Right, right.
And Lamar getting sacked is something. It wasn't him, running out trying to, get
It's
out.
actual
outside.
pocket
Yeah.
sack. Right. Pocket
J.J.
flash.
Watt got some of those, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm talking about it. But
Anyways, that's what last thing I have to say. I just think the Ravens are
No.
definitely the future. Ravens and
No.
Chiefs are going to be the future of the AFC.
I am pretty much.
You don't disagree.
But I guess the biggest matchup's going to be upcoming week. That's really going to see where they're sitting team-wise, I'd say.
Right, right.
And Sunday night,
Sunday night game. This ended up being a good game.
we had the Patriots at the Seahawks.
Uh-oh. Russell
A few
Wilson.
weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought the Patriots were going to be competitive,
Mm-hmm. And then
But-
Cam Newton, and
but they're looking decent.
they're looking like a team.
Yeah,
Seahawks won the game 35-30.
we kind of thought that would happen.
Yeah,
but
we all took the Seahawks, I believe. But like you said, the Patriots, Cam Newton, it was a game. The Patriots actually had a chance to win it at the end. It was
Yeah.
they were inside the 10-yard line, and the
And
Seahawks stopped
they won
them.
Seahawks should did a couple Super Bowls ago and ran the ball.
Yep.
Ran the ball.
But anyways, the Pats are 1-1. Seahawks are 2-0.
Biggest thing with that is there was a stat. Newton had like 95.8% of the yards. It was like 400 accounted for.
95%. So the passing yards mixed with he was the offense.
we'll see what happens with that.
You're
'cause
not
you
going
know
to be
that-
able to
that's not
sustain that.
sustainable
That's the
either.
same
Yeah.
thing. Dual threat, you can't sustain that.
Well, and he's been doing it for a while,
Mhm.
so
And then
and he's been hurt.
it was actually Edelman's career high, had 178 yards receiving.
Mhm.
Then on the Seahawks side, Russell Wilson was throwing dimes.
Yeah, Wilson
So what he
was
does,
good.
That and kind of a stat go out.
Mm.
Metcalf was burning Stephen Gilmore.
DK
Mhm.
Metcalf.
The old Metcalf.
No,
And the Patriots have had a defense, and the Seahawks put up 35 on that Pats defense. Like you
well,
said,
they are missing some pieces.
Right, right. They did have
That
some
opted out.
opted out.
I think what 3?
But
3 or 4?
regardless, that's 35 points on the Pats defense is
Something.
something. Even if it is a Seahawks offense, but
No.
we'll see. We'll see how the season goes. The
The way
Patriots,
it's
I
look-
think, are going to win some games.
I know going into this, halfway through it, Russell Wilson had more passing touchdowns than incompletions for the year.
Oh wow!
I think now he's got 9 passing touchdowns and 11 incompletions. Do you guys think this is Russell Wilson's MVP year?
Maybe
I don't know. There's so many good QBs.
9 touchdowns already. You said through 2
Mhm.
games. That's 4 in one game, 5 in another. Wow,
That's possible.
that's definitely
I
possible.
said there's a lot of good QBs. Though.
Mhm.
I mean, Kyler Murray's doing really well. Mahomes is still doing well. Lamar's still doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Josh Allen's putting up a lot of numbers too now. If you
Mhm.
look at it, I mean, it's so early.
Right. Too early.
Then
The
Monday
Monday night game.
Somebody's
Your
team won.
team.
My second team,
Second team.
the Raiders, beat the Saints, 34-24. Who saw that coming?
We didn't because we all took the Saints and no one wanted to take the Raiders and all this
In
junk.
my heart, I did, but I was
Kamara.
like,
Right.
Kamara was a one-man tank for the Saints.
and I'll tell you something. Drew Brees, he looks like Tom Brady did last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's
He
fine.
doesn't.
Starting
he
to
does,
regress
I'm telling
a
you,
little bit.
if you go back and watch some
Now-
of the throws,
Now, do you think it might have had something to do with Michael Thomas not being there also?
Could be because
but you can say that, but
Look at Emmanuel Sanders. He's a number
yeah.
borderline 1.
But I mean, the Raiders' defense isn't the greatest.
No.
They were missing some play. They were missing 2 starters on their offensive line,
Mm-hmm.
and
Josh
they put up 34 points.
I think I read something saying that Carr completed past 11 different
Yeah,
players.
and the Saints have a good defense.
Yeah.
right, solid defense.
So was it an off night or?
It could have been, but
There was no crowd, so they weren't dealing with crowd. No
I
eyes.
think the past couple years we're starting to see the decline of Breeze.
I think so.
I think so,
playoff
too.
wise.
This year, I've definitely seen it. The last 2 games.
So Saints are 1-1 now. Raiders are 2-0.
Mhm.
Now I'm gonna throw something at you here. The Raiders went into complete rebuild mode. What was it, 2-3 years ago?
When they traded Mac.
They traded Mac. They got rid of all this. They started getting draft picks.
Yeah.
They've utilized those draft picks rather than went out and get stars in the offseason. They've built the team.
Yeah.
Is this the Raiders that you think this is the future? Do you think that we're going to start seeing the winning results kind of finally
think
start
so.
forming this year?
I honestly think they'll. I mean, the Chiefs are going to finish first in the division.
Right. But I'm just saying the
think
winning
Yeah,
attitude.
I think they'll be in second place.
Well, I think Darren Waller's starting to show up being
Darren Waller's
a
carrying it up.
top 3 tight end.
He is, and Henry Ruggs looks good.
Jacobs is tearing it
So,
up.
so you finally think those draft picks and
I
the
think
rebuild is starting to pay off.
I think so.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
See, and everybody thought that, like, why are they trading Mac? You know, why are they doing that?
And really think about it. What's happened to Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah.
They've got Mac. What else?
They're winning 17-13 against the Giants. Yeah,
Richard Trubisky's your quarterback.
right. The Raiders, that was a comfortable win, 34-24. And I like the direction they're going. I guess that's my thing.
Yeah.
So I think the rebuild is finally starting to pay off, and it takes a couple years.
Yeah, it
You
does.
have to let
Trust
the rebuild.
the process.
Right.
Trust it.
Exactly. So that finishes up for the week 2, but we'll go into our
Week 3.
pick'ems next.
Actually, real quick, going to I went 12-4 last week,
Oh, we're gonna do our.
so I'm in third place right now at 20-12 overall.
So then I went 12-4 as well. So we had the exact amount of win losses there on our pick'ems. But I went 9-7 week one, so I'm 21-11 and holding down second place.
I went 13-3. Actually, the only game that we picked differently was the Browns and the Bengals. I picked the Browns, so
And you got the victory
that
there.
was my extra one. So I'm 23-9 right now. So
First
this
place.
is going to be a long season. We
I
started
think so,
like halfway
too.
through the season last year,
Yep.
didn't we?
Yeah, we didn't get started till late last year.
So anyway, we're going to move on to week 3.
To the actual pick'ems.
First game is going to be our Thursday night. We got the 0-2 Dolphins at the 1-1 Jaguars. I'm going with Minshew Mania, guys.
Same
I
here.
am too.
I'm going Jaguars.
Not
I've lost faith in the Dolphins. We
We're-
were talking 0-16 Jaguars.
We
What
were.
about the 0-16 Dolphins? Does it happen?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make that bold of a
They're not
prediction.
bad. They're not bad enough. If anybody's going to do that, I think it'd be the Jets.
Well, my thing is, Fitzmagic
Right.
will win them a game.
Yeah.
They'll probably,
Yeah.
they'll probably versus the Jets.
But they've been staying competitive too, like we were talking about. So
But the Dolphins just picked up a quarterback.
Tua?
Tua.
it could be
Now,
Tua
if
time,
they go
unfortunately.
1-15 or 2-14, realistically, if they only win one,
The season's over.
and if they get the first pick, do they throw Tua? Do they pull a Josh Rosen, get rid of Tua, and then go for Lawrence?
No.
No.
You think they would stick with Tua?
Their best thing
That
they
would be odd.
could do is
Stick with.
I would try if I know we kind of talked about this in the off season with them. If they've got like the first pick, I'd trade it. I'd get more draft capital to
Right.
build up more cornerstone
Right.
pieces on that defense and offense.
I was just throwing it out there since they're 0-2, but
I mean, who knows what
No.
I'm going Jaguars though. So
Shockingly, I'm going to go Jaguars. I said a few weeks ago
Yeah.
that I wasn't going to pick them to win a game, but Minshew's changed my mind, I guess.
So then we got the early Sunday
Sundays.
games. Yeah, the 0-2 Texans versus the 2-0 Steelers.
I'm going to go Steelers. Their defense is just with
I-
that offensive line with the Texans.
TJ Watt.
I hate to do it too. I got to go Steelers. I got to take the safe pick there, even though it's in your division.
Here you go. Next one. We got Battle of the 0-2s.
Ooh,
Bengals and Eagles.
battle,
You
the
know what?
first win or a tie.
It's gonna be the first win for Joe Burrow.
That's what I'm going Burrow.
I'm going Burrow. I'm going Bengals.
You know what? I'm gonna flip the script. I'm gonna go Eagles. I'm gonna think the.
Oh.
I'm gonna say the Eagles get it back on track. I hate to say it.
I think Burrow does it.
I hope you're right. I hope I take a loss there, but I
You
think
hope you take a loss. Huh?
yeah. I mean, on our pick 'em
Yeah.
because it would give the Eagles a physical loss.
No.
But
Next game.
I just think Wentz. I think Wentz is gonna get it back on track.
I hope not.
This next game's easy to pick for me.
49ers and the Giants. So we got the depleted Niners versus the
The depleted Giants.
Barclays Giants.
I think the 49ers, man. I know they're hurting, but they still have a lot of good
Right.
pieces.
I'm gonna go 49ers as well here. So.
Next game, guys, we got the 2-0 Raiders and the 1-1 Patriots.
I'm going the
I knew
Raiders.
you were. I knew you were. This one's a tough one for me because I have a feeling the Patriots are just a team that you can't sleep on. I'm gonna go Raiders, but I'm not sleeping on the Patriots, man. I'm telling you,
Next.
they scare me.
This next one pains me. The Titans at the Vikings.
Oh,
I have to pick the Titans
I agree.
because Derrick Henry's gonna.
From
If
what I've
they can't
seen-
stop the run game right now, and it
I gotta go Titans as well.
sucks. But
Next one, we got the battle of the 1-1s. You got the football team versus the Browns.
I'm going Browns.
I'm going Browns.
I'm going Washington football team. Maybe it's just me being different from you guys, but
That's why we're gonna break these leads.
yeah, we're gonna break.
This
but
this next game's going to be a really good one. Rams at Bills.
2-0, 2-0.
I'm Allen.
I'm going Bills.
Mm-mm.
Bills.
Mm-mm. I'll take the safe pick and go Bills as well. Not much to say about it. It's going to be a good game. That's going to be a battle.
This next
Could go either
game,
way.
This rounds out the Sunday games.
Well, the early Sunday
The
game.
early, the 1 p.m.s.
It's the Bears at the Falcons.
2-0
I'm gonna
Bears,
go.
0-2
I'm gonna go Falcons because those 2 victories for the Bears
They weren't
weren't against good teams,
Mhm.
and I just think Falcons will get their first win.
I'm gonna go the pick with the Falcons. I guess it's not a safe pick because they're 0-2, but
Yeah.
like I said, the way the Falcons lost to the
Underdogs.
Cowboys, the way that they lost in Week 1, there's too much talent on the Falcons team.
Yeah.
I think they get a win here too.
I'm going to say
Difficulties.
Technical difficulties with the camera shutting off for some reason there.
so. We got through the
Facebook
early
Live.
Sunday
Yes,
games.
we made it through the Sunday early game. So on to the 4 p.m.ers. The 0-2 Panthers at the 1-1 Chargers.
I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chargers too. Panthers. They're
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a
still
couple.
trying to find
Yeah,
themselves.
they're a couple
I'm
years
gonna go.
away.
I'm gonna go Chargers as well. I'm gonna stick with you guys. The Chargers are 1-1, but I see a lot of talent, a
Yeah.
lot more talent than what the Panthers have shown.
I don't think this next game's gonna have a.
Good inning.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say all of us picking the same. You ain't gonna break that tiebreak, fellas. Got the 0-2 Jets and the 1-1 Colts. Well,
I'm going with the 1-1 Colts.
I'll go with the Colts, and I tell you what, I won't be watching this game. This does not look
It's
good.
probably gonna be on TV. So.
Well, I got the Sunday ticket, so I don't.
Right. You got the Sunday ticket, but
next one, we got somebody's.
1-1 Cowboys at the 2-0 Seahawks.
This
I don't know if you guys are going Cowboys.
I
I
gotta
hate
go.
to say it, but I'm not.
I gotta go Seahawks.
I'm going Seahawks.
Like I said in Week 1, I'm not gonna pick the Cowboys every week.
Mhm.
I think the Seahawks do beat us this week. We start going 1-2. I hope I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but I've got to be realistic on my pick'ems.
Next one, we got the Buccaneers at the Broncos.
1-1 Bucks at the.
I'm gonna have to go Bucks because the Broncos
Have
got a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
They have a quarterback.
no quarterback.
I'm going
Yeah.
Buccaneers as well. Tom Brady and that offense and the defense on the Bucks is going to be a little too much for.
This will probably be a runaway game.
Yeah.
Next one, we got the 0-2 Lions and the 2-0 Cardinals. I don't think there's a question of who we're picking this
Yeah,
one.
we're going to take the Cardinals on that one. I think the Cardinals are going to be 3-0 this week.
Ooh,
That finishes the 4 p.m. So now we're into the Sunday
night.
night game.
now I don't think this one's really a question either.
I don't think so either.
What's been happening to a certain quarterback this year? And it's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. It's the Packers at the Saints.
2-0 pack at the
Drew
1-1.
Brees is not playing very well.
Michael Thomas is out.
I'm not a Packers fan, obviously, but I think they get it done. They've been playing good, so.
You know what? I'm flipping the script again on you boys. I'm taking the Saints.
Well, fellas, it looks like I'm going to second place again.
Yeah, you might be, buddy. But you know what? I believe in Drew Brees. I think he's had a couple rough games. I'm taking the Saints to upset the Packers for you, bud.
Well,
I hope you're right, but
that's the Sunday
Oh!
night game. Then
this next one.
Woo!
Monday night, I think this is
Pin
prime
drop
time.
on that one.
Yeah, battle of the 2-0s, Chiefs and Ravens.
Man.
You know who I got to pick?
You got to go with your team.
I got to go with the Ravens.
Dang.
I think that we're 0-2. I think right now versus Mahomes.
You know what? I'm gonna go Ravens because
I'm going Ravens as well.
because
I think
Chiefs
it's-
struggled against the Chargers.
And I think Lamar's going to be a little much for that Chiefs defense. I really
think
do.
the big thing is the secondary on the Ravens. It's a lot better than Chargers. Now, granted, the Chargers have, I think, a better pass rush.
No,
Last year, the Ravens and Chiefs squared off,
Mm-hmm.
and the Ravens made some critical mistakes.
Yep.
They went for it when they should have taken field goals, and it was a real close game at the end.
Don't remind me.
I'm just reminding you, but I'm saying I think the Ravens have learned from that loss. I think they can look back at that and say, you know what? We're going to be aggressive, but we're also going to be realistic. I think they're going to put enough points on the board.
To me,
Lamar's going to get it done.
I think this is the game.
Ravens 3-0, Chiefs 2-1.
If they pull it out, I think this will spark Lamar. Because that's really the only thing he can't. Well,
He hasn't got past Mahomes yet.
Mahomes in the playoffs, but
and I think you're gonna be seeing these two play again.
Mm-hmm.
depending
In
on
the
how the
play.
seeding is
Right.
Mm-hmm.
in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
So that's it for the pick'ems. Anything else, guys?
I don't think so.
No?
The
Covered
only
everything.
thing the last thing that I'll kind of finish with is I really think, everybody rags on the preseason. I really think that the no preseason thing
Has caused these injuries.
has caused some injuries and caused some issues and some early bumps with some teams.
Well, I'd say even too. With
I really do believe that they should have at least had 2 preseasons.
And I honestly think some of the
They
teams,
should have got a limited preseason.
and some
but
of the teams that have looked kind of sluggish and not really got like Brady with the Buccaneers that first week. They didn't really look that they were in sync.
you need that preseason. You need that. Usually you only play the first half
Well, I'd
of
say
each
even.
game, but
I'd say even with the short training camp,
mhm.
and a lot of these rookies, they're just
They're getting thrown in.
getting thrown in there, full go, no stop. That's the last thing I wanted to add. Is just I think
midway
hopefully next year-
through the season, I think you'll start seeing the teams
get back to normal.
be back to where they were.
But I will never rag on the preseason again. I think it is needed
Yeah.
for player safety.
Even
I really do
if-
believe that.
even if it gets cut down by a game.
Yep, even if it's cut 1 or 2 games, but you still have to have a couple, man.
When you got to think,
You
too,
have to.
you got to think too. All these coaches, the draft picks, the undrafted free agents that they brought in, they didn't really have a chance to see them play against anybody.
Mhm.
So a lot of those guys they had to cut. That could have
Without
been they
knowing.
could have been stars, and you don't even know.
Yeah.
You didn't see them play. So
That's it.
Tune
like,
in.
next
Oh yeah,
week,
like, subscribe.
Yeah.
like, subscribe, and tune in next week, Tuesday.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. We'll be here.
See ya.
Hopefully the video doesn't stop then.